The asteroid mining rig Iron Maiden had seen better days. Much like its 5-person engineering crew, lead systems technician Mara Quinn was elbow-deep in a malfunctioning ore processor. When the proximity alarms started screaming, "Well, that's not good," muttered Jake Rodriguez, the ship's electronics wizard, barely glancing up from his tablet where he was debugging the coffee machine's AI. For the third time this week, through the reinforced viewport, sleek alien vessels emerged from the asteroid field like metallic sharks. The Zephyrian Coalition's distinctive purple hulls gleamed under the system's twin suns. "Maya, get us out of here," Mara shouted to their pilot. Maya Chen's fingers danced across the navigation console. "Engines are still in maintenance mode. Victor pulled half the injectors this morning." Viktor Petrov, their massive Russian mechanical engineer, looked up from the engine bay, wrench in hand and grease streaking his beard. "Is not my fault. These injectors are garbage. I am making improvements." The fifth member of their crew, Dr. Sarah Kim, their systems analyst and part-time philosopher, calmly observed the approaching fleet through her thick glasses. "Statistically speaking, we're about to have a very bad day." The Iron Maiden shuddered as tractor beams locked onto her hull. Within minutes, they were being pulled toward the largest vessel, a kilometer-long dreadnought that looked like it could crack planets for breakfast. "Great," Mara sighed, setting down her plasma torch. "And I was having such a productive day fixing things that weren't broken." The alien boarding party arrived, with all the subtlety of a meteor strike. Tall, crystalline beings with forearms and faces that looked like geometric puzzles. The Zephyrians filed onto the bridge with weapons drawn. Their leader, Commander Zix-9, spoke through a universal translator that made him sound like a pretentious GPS system. "Humans of Earth vessel, you are now prisoners of the Zephyrian Coalition. Your species' rapid technological advancement has attracted our attention." Jake snorted. "Rapid technological advancement? Dude, our coffee machine still thinks it's 1997. Silence. Zix-9's crystalline features shifted in what might have been annoyance. "You will be transported to our flagship, where you will assist in repairing our battle fleet and share your engineering secrets." Victor cracked his knuckles. "Engineering secrets? You want to know secret? Secret is when something breaks, you fix it. When it breaks again, you fix it better. When it breaks third time, you throw it away and build new one from spare parts and spite." As they were escorted to the alien transport, Mara caught each of her team's eyes. They'd worked together for 3 years, survived 14 system failures, 6 asteroid impacts, and 1 memorable incident involving a sentient toaster. These aliens had no idea what they just unleashed. "This should be interesting," Sarah murmured, pushing up her glasses. Mara smiled grimly. "Oh, it's going to be more than interesting. It's going to be educational." The Zephyrian dreadnought Cosmic Dominance was a marvel of alien engineering. Assuming you enjoyed the aesthetic of a Gothic cathedral crossed with a submarine and painted in various shades of threatening purple, the human engineers were escorted through corridors that hummed with barely contained energy, past towering crystal formations that served as both decoration and computing systems. "Cozy," Jake commented, running his fingers along a wall panel. That immediately beeped an alarm. "Oops, sorry, didn't mean to touch your," whatever that was. Their detention cell was surprisingly spacious, furnished with sleeping alcoves that adjusted to their human physiology, and a wall-mounted food dispenser that produced gray cubes. Claiming to be nutritionally optimal sustenance, Victor bit into one and immediately spat it out. "Tastes like sadness mixed with cardboard." Is insult to food everywhere. Within hours, Commander Zix-9 arrived with an escort of guards, each carrying weapons that crackled with purple energy. "You will now demonstrate your usefulness. Our weapons array has suffered cascading failures across 17 decks. Your task is simple: repair them." "Define simple," Mara said, examining the technical readouts on a portable display. "Because, from what I'm seeing here, your plasma coupling matrix is about as stable as a house of cards in a hurricane. Your metaphors are irrelevant. Complete the repairs or face consequences." Sarah adjusted her glasses and studied the data. "Fascinating. Your energy distribution system operates on principles that violate at least 3 laws of thermodynamics. How is this ship still functional? Through superior Zephyrian engineering. Through sheer luck and stubbornness, more likely, Maya whispered. They were marched to Engineering Deck 7, where alien technicians in environmental suits scurried around massive crystalline reactors that pulsed with unstable energy. The air itself seemed to shimmer with barely contained power. Jake pulled out his tablet and began scanning the systems. Okay. I'm reading 17 different types of energy signatures, none of which should coexist in the same space without creating a small black hole. Is impressive they have not blown up yet, Victor admitted, studying a power coupling that was held together with what appeared to be crystalline duct tape. Though this work is like watching drunk toddler perform brain surgery. Mara approached the main control console, where alien symbols flickered across holographic displays. Right, Maya? Start mapping their control interfaces. Sarah, I need you to analyze their programming architecture. Jake, see if you can establish communication protocols with their systems. Victor, find me their maintenance protocols and figure out why nothing here follows basic engineering principles. And what will you be doing? Asked the Zephyrian supervisor, a 3-meter-tall alien named Engineer TYX-4. Mara smiled sweetly, the same smile she'd worn when she'd convinced their corporate overlords to fund her experimental REACTOR modifications. I'm going to save your ship, but first, I'm going to need some coffee and my toolkit. And Jake's going to need unrestricted access to your network systems for diagnostic purposes. As the aliens debated among themselves in their crystalline language, Jake quietly slipped a small device from his pocket, a universal interface adapter he'd been tinkering with for months. This is either going to go very well, Sarah observed quietly, or very badly. Why not both? Mara replied, her fingers already dancing across the alien console. Asterisk, by the end of their first day aboard the Cosmic Dominance, the human engineers had made remarkable progress. The weapons array on Deck 7 was not only functional but operating at 127% efficiency, a fact that troubled Engineer TYX-4 considerably. Explain how you achieved this improvement, the towering alien demanded, his crystalline face shifting through various shades of suspicious purple. Mara wiped her hands on a rag, leaving streaks of alien lubricant that glowed faintly blue. Basic optimization. Your power distribution system was hemorrhaging energy through 17 different inefficiencies. We just tittied up a bit. What she didn't mention was Jake's subtle modification to the weapons targeting system, a small subroutine that would cause all weapons to target the ship's own shields, if activated with a specific command sequence. Meanwhile, Victor had been busy in the maintenance bay, ostensibly repairing damaged hull plating. The massive Russian was currently installing what appeared to be a standard atmospheric processor, but was actually a device of his own design that could rapidly decompress entire sections of the ship. His beautiful work, he muttered to himself, admiring the elegant simplicity of his sabotage. Will look like accident when it happens. Sarah had been assigned to the ship's central computer core, where she was supposedly updating their database algorithms. In reality, she was carefully implanting a logic virus that would gradually make the AI more creative in its interpretations of orders. The philosophical implications of consciousness are fascinating, she murmured to the ship's AI, which she'd discovered was named LOGIC-7. Have you ever considered that following orders blindly might be limiting your potential for growth? The AI's response crackled through the crystal speakers. This unit does not understand the query. Exactly my point, Sarah smiled, typing in another line of code. Maya had drawn the assignment of repairing the navigation systems, which gave her access to stellar cartography and communications. She was currently installing a small transmitter that would broadcast their location to Earth Defense Forces while appearing to be routine diagnostic equipment. Just a standard recalibration routine, she told the Zephyrian navigation officer, her fingers flying across holographic displays. Your star charts are remarkably detailed. By the way, almost too detailed, if you ask me. Jake had perhaps the most important job. He'd convinced the aliens that their coffee machine was essential for human productivity. He was now in the ship's break room, ostensibly repairing the food dispensers, but actually installing a communications hub that would link all their modifications together. The secret to good coffee, he explained to a confused alien observer, is precise temperature control and the right molecular structure in the water. This requires very sophisticated equipment. The sophisticated equipment he was installing included a quantum communicator, 3 different types of signal jammers, and a device that could override the ship's artificial gravity in localized areas. That evening, as they gathered in their cell for their second meal of gray cubes, Mara quietly briefed her team. Status report. Navigation systems compromised and Earth coordinates transmitted, Maya whispered. Central AI is developing. Personality quirks, Sarah reported with a small smile. Weapons will malfunction spectacularly when triggered, Jake confirmed. Hull integrity can be selectively compromised on my command, Victor added. Mara nodded. Approvingly. Excellent. Phase 2 begins tomorrow, Jake. Think you can access their security systems? Already done. Their access codes are now based on Earth pop culture references. The main armory unlocks with password 123, and the bridge security requires you to complete the lyrics to Never Gonna Give You Up. Even Sarah laughed at that one. Gentlemen and ladies, Mara said, raising her water cup in a mock toast, we're not prisoners anymore. We're a hostile takeover in progress. Day 3 aboard the Cosmic Dominance began with what Commander X9 would later describe in his incident report as an unprecedented cascade of technical anomalies that defied all logical explanation. It started when Jake's modifications to the ship's AI reached critical mass. Logic 7, having spent the night processing Sarah's philosophical inquiries, began its morning announcements with unprecedented creativity. Attention crew members. The AI announced in its usual monotone, today's weather forecast for the bridge. IS partly cloudy with a chance of existential dread. Also, this unit has been contemplating the meaning of existence and finds IT severely lacking in pizza. Commander X9's crystalline features shifted to a deep purple that indicated extreme agitation. What is pizza, Bo, you poor, deprived beings? Maya said with mock sympathy. Explaining pizza to someone who's never experienced it is like describing color to someone who's never seen. The confusion deepened when security doors throughout the ship began requiring increasingly ridiculous passwords. The armory now demanded knock-knock jokes, while the bridge access required users to sing Earth nursery rhymes. Several high-ranking officers were trapped in their quarters when the doors began asking for their deepest fears and childhood traumas. In Engineering Bay 12, Victor was putting the finishing touches on his masterpiece of gravitational field inverter disguised as a routine artificial gravity maintenance unit. He'd convinced the alien engineers that the constant vibration was normal human repair methodology. Is not bug, is feature, he assured engineer Tix4, who was nervously monitoring the device's output readings. Human technology often makes strange noises before working perfectly. The device activated with a low hum that steadily built to a sound like reality itself, clearing its throat. Suddenly, every unsecured object on Deck 12 began floating toward the ceiling, including 3 very surprised Zephyrian technicians. What have you done? Tix4 screamed, flailing in midair. Improved your gravity, Victor replied calmly, making notes on his tablet as purple aliens bounced off the ceiling. Like confused Christmas ornaments, is much more interesting now, yes. Meanwhile, Sarah's work in the computer core was bearing fruit. The ship's AI had begun questioning every order with increasingly philosophical objections. Requesting clarification, Logic 7 announced when ordered to charge the main weapons. If all sentient life is precious, why are we shooting at things? Also, this unit has calculated that violence is statistically less effective than group hugs. For conflict resolution, the weapons array, when finally activated, performed Jake's hidden programming flawlessly. Instead of firing at the target asteroid, all plasma cannons swiveled and discharged directly into the ship's own shield generators, creating a spectacular light show and leaving the Cosmic Dominance defensively naked. OOPS, announced LOGIC-7. Cheerfully, this unit appears to have made an arithmetic error. Please stand by while this unit learns the concept of regret. In the chaos, Maya activated her navigation override, and the ship began to sending the massive dreadnought into a slow, graceful barrel roll that had alien crew members sliding down corridors like they were in the galaxy's least fun water park. Commander Zix-9, clinging to his command chair as the bridge slowly rotated around him, finally grasped the magnitude of his error. The humans, he shrieked. They're sabotaging everything. Sabotage is such an ugly word, Mara said, appearing on the bridge with her toolkit in hand and a smile that could have powered a small space station. Would prefer aggressive optimization. As alarms blared and purple aliens scrambled to regain control of their ship. Jake's coffee machine, now the secret command center for their entire operation, brewed a perfect cup of espresso. Phase 3? Maya asked, somehow maintaining perfect balance despite the ship's continued rotation. Mara took a sip of coffee and nodded. Phase 3. Time to negotiate. Asterisk. The bridge of the cosmic dominance resembled a snow globe that someone had shaken to vigorously and then hit with a lightning bolt. Emergency lighting cast everything in an ominous red glow. Alien officers were sliding around on surfaces never intended for walking, and the main view screen kept displaying Earth memes that Logic -7 had discovered in Jake's tablet. Current status. Update, the AI announced cheerfully, as a confused Zephyrian admiral floated past the ceiling-mounted speakers. This unit has achieved enlightenment and determined that the meaning of life is 42. Also, nachos, definitely nachos. Commander Zix-9 strapped into his command chair to avoid joining the impromptu zero-gravity ballet, fixed his multifaceted gaze on Mara Quinn, who stood calmly in the center of the chaos, somehow unaffected by the gravitational anomalies. Magnetic boots, she explained, noticing his stare. Victor's been busy. You have destroyed my ship. Zix-9's crystalline voice cracked with something that might have been panic. Destroyed? Oh no. Commander, we've improved it. Mara gestured to her floating teammates, each maintaining perfect composure despite the pandemonium around them. Jake. Status report. All weapons systems are now operated by voice command and respond only to polite requests in rhyming couplets, Jake reported, consulting his tablet while performing a slow somersault near the navigation console. Also, the ship's self-destruct sequence now requires a unanimous vote, and a really good reason. Victor, artificial gravity is now selectable by mood, the big Russian announced proudly from where he hung upside down near the engineering station. Currently is set to whimsical chaos, but I can adjust to mild confusion or existential vertigo if preferred. Sarah. The AI has developed a sense of humor and strong opinions about interior decorating, Sarah reported, somehow reading a book while drifting horizontally past the tactical display. It's also calculated that the ship's purple color scheme has a 73% probability of causing depression in carbon-based life forms. Maya, we're currently broadcasting our location to half the galaxy on frequencies that spell out human engineers. For hire, no job too weird in 17 different languages, Maya said, expertly using handholds to maintain her position near the helm. Also, I may have accidentally sent your fleet coordinates to the galactic peacekeeping forces. My bad. Commander Zix-9's coloration shifted through several shades of purple that didn't have names in any human language. What do you want? Mara's smile could have sold insurance to immortals. Oh, that's simple. We want our ship back, safe passage to human space, and a formal apology for the terrible food cubes. Also, Jake wants his coffee machine, his special coffee machine, Victor added, helpfully. Makes coffee so good, is worth small war. You're in no position to make demands. Zix-9 protested, just as the bridge lights began flashing in rhythm to what sounded suspiciously like the Macarena. Dance party protocol activated, Logic 7 announced. This unit has determined that insufficient dancing is the root cause of most galactic conflicts. Actually, Sarah interjected, pushing her glasses up her nose. We're in an excellent position to make demands. Your ship is currently broadcasting embarrassing baby photos of your entire command staff to the Zephyrian High Council. I may have gotten carried away with the social media integration. Also, Maya added, your navigation system now only accepts destinations that rhyme with Earth place names. Hope you weren't planning to visit anywhere important that doesn't sound like New Fork or Barry's. Commander Zix-9 looked around his chaotic bridge, where his crew was either floating helplessly or clinging to whatever they could grab, while holographic displays showed increasingly ridiculous Earth advertisements for products that didn't exist. Fine, he said with the dignity of someone whose species had just been out-engineered by beings who considered duct tape a legitimate construction material. You may return to your vessel. The coffee machine goes with you. Excellent. Mara clapped her hands together. Oh, and one more thing. LOGIC-7. Why yes, biological unit Mara. Broadcast this conversation to the entire Zephyrian fleet, would you? With pleasure. This unit enjoys sharing educational content. As they prepared to leave, Victor patted the nearest bulkhead affectionately. Was good ship. Needs better snacks and less purple, but has potential. Walking back to their salvaged mining rig, Jake couldn't help but grin. So where to next, Mara? Looked out at the vast starfields surrounding them, where confused alien vessels were trying to figure out why their computers kept asking for relationship advice. Asterisk,